All right. Pretty big developments. Last few chapters I watched, read the last two chapters. Those two chapters were pretty important because Kurapika joins the squad. Um, Kurapika joins the squad. Mizaistum and Kurapika figure out that they both figure that there's a traitor or there's an insider that's like working with Pariston because of Beyond's ties to because Beyond being bound by Netero's contract that he can't go to the Dark Continent while he's alive. Um, Parison and Jing. Parison tries to kill Jing. Basically, he like has his henchmen try to attack Jing, but Jing's uh, proved himself, and Parison's henchmen like Jing. Parison's henchmen like Jing now. Um, there's that one guy I forgot. He has the long ears. Forgot his name, but he's a child mercenary, or he's a mercenary, child mercenary. And he has a lot of respect for his soldiers' lives. So like that's one of the reasons why he was opposed to Jing, but Jing earned his respect in some ways. And Jing is now number two, and we're moving on. Pearson's assassins were defeated by Kurapika because of his Nen ability. His Nen ability, his chains are allow him uh to weed out anybody who's lying, which is a pretty useful ability. Hunter exam final Hunter exam final exam Q&A. Judged on information gathering ability, analytical ability, and practical application. This is a broadcast of the Dark Continent. A voyage announcement transmitted to the entire world a few days ago from Kaken and Master Beyond Netero. Please answer the next three questions based on the contents of this broadcast. Were you aware of this information prior to the date of Master Beyond's broadcast? Those that knew, please tell us the extent of the details you knew and how you came to know, and please provide your answer as to how best you would explain this information to someone that did not know beforehand. Please think and answer as to what the economic, social, and cultural merits of receiving this information beforehand are. Was a question. I don't know what the question is. Of course, I was aware of it beforehand. Unfortunately, I can't reveal my source. There are many merits for futures and stocks, business infrastructure. But I digress. More profitable benefits will without doubt be enjoyed by Hawkins' royal family. White, he doesn't know anything. I knew beforehand I work in an information agency. It came through there. The hunters that took into account the political power of the kingdom of Kaken in V5 would benefit after the voyage. So I'm assuming what they did is they had them analyze. Uh, they're Kurapika screening them. It seems like, and they're analyzing. This is the part of the hunter exam. Pearson said like all of his guys were intercepted, but Cheeto is screening them with Kurapika, and they want to try to like figure out if somebody knows more than what they already know by showing them the first voyage message that the king sent out. As far as the voyage goes, this is a bit embarrassing, but I didn't know anything. My approach would be to have them seek out intermediary offices for the higher officials of Kaken. Black. Oh, so he's saying that like this is an inability. White means he's good. Black means he's lying. He's shrouded in a smoke of lot of mixed and with mixed lies and truths. That's surprising indeed. He's extremely important. He's hiding extremely important information. I had thought that most of the spies faking their way through the mental test during the primary evaluation for the hunter exam had been screened out, but I never expected this many would be able to clear the thermography and lie detector. Not that, I'm talking about your ability. You were humble and unsure if it would be of any use or not. It may be saying too much, but it's almost like your ability was made for this situation. Please don't overestimate me. So he's trying to figure out like why Kurapika has these abilities because like he seemingly is like using these to like interrogate people or get information. At least that's what I would assume if I was him. It's true that we have many more new spies applying than we expected. But now with this, we shouldn't have any problems. Are there any risk in particular to it? First of all, I myself don't perfectly understand the nature of this ability. Under normal circumstances, I have to be directly in front of the target for this ability to work, so this is just a guess. When intensely focusing to my utmost limits, I can perceive minute changes that transcend self awareness through the chain's conveyance. These changes wouldn't appear on any kind of reading. So you can notice like any change of emotion. When I use Emperor Time, perhaps it makes everything more vivid, and it becomes possible to read the to read through the image. At least that's my guess. So he can read the emotions, but he can just cognitive he can just already like with his basic powers he can understand like when people change their emotions, but he can't read them. Otherwise, this ability requires that its targets be met in person. But this is a no matter how much the target has trained in deception, the lie will be sniffed out level of ability. That sounds like plenty, right? What kind of problem is there then? Well, for example, if I were a spy and I needed to deceive someone who had the same ability as me, as myself, perhaps the ability would perhaps the ability to erase someone's memory. I look for someone with the ability to manipulate the consciousness and awareness of others, not to hide my lies, but to erase them entirely. So he thinks that his ability can be used against him, basically. In the event the target is not self-aware of their own lie, it is likely my chain will not work. I see. That is a question. Within the upper ranks of the organization, if there's someone with an ability like mine, or again, someone that knows someone with an ability like mine, and they were on the enemy sides, I think using a method similar to the one I just mentioned, they would be able to clear the hunter exam's double layered trap. So he doesn't really have a strict way if they take the procedures to like avoid his lie detector test. Well, is that even a possibility? Yeah, it's probably pretty possible, low key. Seretinich. Benjamin. Yo, BB. You're gonna be happy. It's good news. Father accepted it. Seriously? He's fucking wrestling a lion. Man is wrestling a lion. Yep, he was pretty clear about it. The one person who survives this voyage will soon be king. Oh, God in heaven. I am grateful at last. At last, this means I'll be able to eradicate every last rotten piece of shit garbage without reserve. Tremble and shake in your sleep, Benjamin, for I will be king. Don't tell me you actually think you can win. What the hell have you been smoking? I'm on a natural high. Have you told any of the others? So like he thinks he's like higher level consciousness or whatever. That man really wants to kill all of his family members, though. That's crazy. Father's messenger is about to head out to inform the rest of our siblings. You are the only one I've told first. Since I'll be the one to deal with you personally, I myself shall break each and every last one of your bones with these hands of mine. Oh, I just soiled myself. I'm terrified, so don't come calling ever again, MK. Bye bye. No. BB actually referred to himself as Ore-sama, a very pompous alpha male, hyper masculine way to refer to yourself. Saying I myself, that's about the same thing. That's about the same as girls that speak in the third person, don't you think? You didn't like that. I'm gonna freaking squish that lion, man. Hey, Taita, how's everything going? Conditionally, all five have passed. But of course, upon receiving a request for cooperation from the organization beforehand, this is practically like a fixed race. It's even been decided that there will be 15 members of staff assigned on each prince to each prince on board the voyage. Some of the other princes have started to think the same thing. Well, it's only natural, assuming they aren't complete idiots, that is. There are many allies we can rely on, and it's an ideal situation. Even at best, we're still passing weeks and weeks in the same ship with a bunch of siblings who don't get along. But there's one issue. We've been warned that anyone who lies or hides anything from the organization's questions will be rejected. We've been advised they may have machines or tools on board. We've been advised they may have machines and tools on board to screen us. Attached personnel have been briefed on the complex relationships between the princes vying for inheritance of the crown. Good job, no problems here. The ones that didn't come to the exam were Benjamin's, the first prince, and Tyson's, the sixth prince bodyguards, right? Precisely on what grounds did you make that deduction? Hubris and jealousy. Benjamin feels as though his excellent soldiers he's so proud of are far above the likes of the hunters organization, and as such would never lower himself to letting them be judged by the organization. Tyson would never let his dear darling soldiers outside, as he wouldn't allow some strange unknown bugs to tread upon them. By the way, were there any bodyguards that didn't pass the exam? Yes, it appears as though all of Lucerus, the seventh princes, failed. according to the memo from the organization. As expected, there was some moron running up in the lead. Without even thinking about the possibility of some lie detector, he sent his soldiers in with assassination on their mind. In all likelihood, in all likelihood, being the moron that he is. So Tyson is very protective of his people. Benjamin is very glory bound. He's excellent, superior, I guess, to everybody. Loserus Seventh Prince is stupid, or he doesn't take like precautions or whatnot. Well done. When you return to the country, please resume your normal defensive duties. Yes, sir. As for the voyage, post boarding defensive deployment arrangements and orders will all be given by me beforehand. Tell everyone to gain an understanding of the inner framework of the Black Whale from the blueprints that we have acquired. Escape routes, blind spots, travel time, and possible remodeled areas. I want each and every one hypothesized. There's something even the seven deadly sins don't account for. Ignorance and stupidity. Those who don't know their own place are the greatest sinners of all. For any of those pig trash to become king instead of me is completely out of the question. It's out of the question. Do you hear me? He thinks he's like so like intellectually better than everybody else because like he wrote remember my previous chapters when we were introduced to him, he was reading a lot of philosophers. Now that I've taken a philosophy class, I might recognize him, so I'll try to like find it. Oh wow, yeah, I found it. So it was in chapter 345. Higgs. I don't know Higgs. I don't know Epsis, but I do know Kant and Hegel. But like these are all philosophers. Gold badge. Some of these other ones I don't know. I don't know these four, but I might know Fechner. But I do know Kant and Hegel. Kant is like a dialectical or no, he's I guess dialectical idealism that like each person has personhood. You can't strip personhood away from people. Um that people are born with a moral sense, but he kills people that are like inferior, so I guess he just doesn't view anybody else as person. Yeah, that's pretty good Easter egg low key. Cause like it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if he's using Kantian philosophy, he's saying that like all these women are stupid, so we're gonna kill them all. Yeah, he called them monkeys. He called them monkeys animals. Makes sense. What is your rationale for that? My rationale, understand, this is pure conjecture, but my case is as follows. First off, within the zodiacs, there is no one that can use the ability in question. Of course, there's no way that I can know the full extent of each and every one of their powers. However, before long, we will be able to confirm this. Originally, within the Zodiac members, there were three factions. Even on general missions, because we performed well together, we often acted with those same factions. I know all the powers of the members of the faction I was in. Exception, extreme. Left patriotist, whatever the hell that means. I don't even heard of that. Reformist, balance, liberal. But I don't know the other factions. However, currently, we have had to separate into specialty teams based on our talents and expertise. In order to strengthen our cooperation, I requested the Zodiacs manually share all information regarding their abilities with one another. All members readily gave their consent. I think everyone recognizes the importance and magnitude of this current mission, so it doesn't hurt to have everyone open and honest with one another. Are you planning on applying that criterion to me as well? No. We've heard about your circumstances from Leoria. I haven't asked for an in-depth explanation of your ability, and I won't be disclosing any of what you've told to me to anyone else. In exchange, though, that means I won't be telling you about the abilities of the Zodiacs. I don't mind at all, and thank you for attending to my worries. About what? I think maybe if I were here by myself, that things probably wouldn't go as smoothly. But with Leorio here, I feel a lot better and at ease. It's also a great help to us. Anyway, continuing on with my rationale, from the mutual sharing of information on information on abilities within the Zodiacs, we know there is no one with that corresponding ability. So he should just be able to just use his chain ability and figure it out, right? Logically. Next is, do we have any acquaintances with the aforementioned ability? This is also most likely a no. By going through and eliminating information from the organization's members' past hunt histories and checking important secret intelligence missions, investigation mission frequency, and the value of their index, we can see that there is no one that has the matching criteria that would fit the circumstances of knowing someone with that ability. In regards to what the ability is, isn't there high probability that it would be used in missions with absolute certainty, with absolute secrecy? It's even more likely that the person would be employed by a secret intelligence agency outside of the organization. Of course, exactly. But the results of the exam point towards no. If there were someone secretly colluding, it's safe to assume that they would have developed countermeasures for someone that can detect and see through lies. If that were the case, Mercenary Muhul, Biochemist Yudin. It is definitely strange that those two did not pass the exam. Both of them are extraordinary excellent men of talent. Especially Yunpei being in charge of mediating between the science division and biology division. When he got caught, the machine was doubted at first. For someone who'd left such an important post to be sent in, and knowing there'd be a trap, if he had some kind of countermeasure, he would have surely used it. Or perhaps both of them were sent by some powerful unknown spies to us as decoys. Anything is possible. Because apart from that, there's an alarm going off that's inside me, blaring out. After losing the presidential election, Parasenso readily and quickly left, because he still had a comrade on the inside. That's the hypothesis I'm worried about. And that comrade is able to avoid detection. I see, I can test him in secret if that's what you want. You have my cooperation. What's all this about an unpolished, uncut gem, Mizai? And what about the two new recruits? We leaving them out now? Are we having the discussion of how to bully them? It's more likely this is to be about our abilities, isn't it? As the defense division, I think the sooner we exchange information, the better. Yeah, we will definitely be getting that before the voyage. Before that, there are some things that we must confirm and validate first. There may be someone among us that is on Beyond's side, Knowing that, would you still reveal your own abilities? What are you talking about? There's no way any of us. Why would you say that? Hey, hey, I'm asking if you're fucking serious. Damn you, Mizai. If I had met Beyond long before I'd heard the president's mission, I think I would have been happy to help him with his dream. Then seeing the president's video after that, I think my position probably wouldn't change either. This is an issue of which happened first, not a matter of betrayal or doubt. What I'm saying is that both situations are equally possible. So that's why I'm asking you, still even knowing that, can you still reveal your own abilities? I can. By presenting 3 colored cards to my opponent, I restrict their movement. That is cross game. With blue, I have them make their admission to the courtroom. With yellow, they are restrained. And with red, I have them removed. This is my ability. I've made it my mission to determine which one of you is here under different pretenses. This is a matter of resolution. Whites, 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 whites. Traitor. Oh. Did he say anything? I actually thought it was somebody else. The remaining sole survivor will become the official successor to the throne. If you are all okay with these terms, then please place a drop of your blood into this pot. After that, please put your hand into the center here. First Prince Benjamin, Mother Uma. Second Prince Camilla, Mother Drolissa. Third Prince Chorai, Mother Torridge. From his 8 legal wives, the Kakin Prince fathered 14 heirs. Publicly, his wives are not ranked in any way, and so the gender of his kids would have no influence on the succession of the throne. All of his children are referred to as prince, with the order they were given and designation, giving them an ordinal designation. I meant skin somebody's face off. That's kind of crazy. Eyeballs. What even is that? He's done some crazy stuff to people. His chair is made out of people's bones. Fourth Prince Seredinich, Mother Uma. Fifth Prince Subepa, Mother Drozo. Sixth Prince Tyson, Mother Caderon. Seventh Prince Losris, Drozo. Eighth Prince Sarsar, Mother Swinko. Swinko. Ninth Prince Harkenberg, that's my goat, Mother Drozo. 10th Prince Coach Kachao, Mother Seiko. 11th Prince Fugetsu, Mother Seiko. 12th Prince Momose, Mother Savanchi. 13th Prince Mariam, Mother Savage. 14th Prince Wobble, Mother Oti. How would you please insert your hand into the pot? It's not going to eat my hand or anything, right? Please relax. Are we done here? Everything is in order. Nothing's really happening. What was that? Some kind of ritual? Indeed. That was the ceremony of the pot ovum passed down from generation to generation in the Kaken royal family. By proving the lineage of succession in your blood to the pot and by praying for the throne, it is believed that it will bless one with special powers. According to the ancient texts, the first king expressed his loneliness by embodying it into the pot. Therefore, this battle for succession is tied to an ancient and honorable tradition. with this pot. The children are being granted powers from the pot, even though they are completely unaware of it. It brings forth a sacred beast to protect them. The guardian sacred beast is a vessel modeled after themselves. A frail and weak vessel has no chance of becoming king. Dang, that's crazy. A frail and weak vessel has no chance of becoming king. So, like, the more evil you are, probably, like, the more crazy your Nen Beast is. Oh, look at his. It's like a cow ooders, hair, teeth, long tongue. Looks the looks looks sinful, very sinful. Guardian Sacred Beast, a divine beast born from the strong prayers for one's offspring, prosperity. It haunts those with a strong affinity for the dead. It feeds on the aura of those it haunts, and those people have influence on its form. But since it is not created from their own body, it is not bound to the will of its host. August 8th. The departure date has officially been decided. In 35 more days, King Huigoro has requested that you appear at the voyage celebration on the eve of the departure, and has directly appealed this to the V5. I'm sure it would be awful as such a historical event for the benefactor to be missing. Tell me who the person on your side is in the zodiacs. If you do, I'll give permission for you to attend the ceremony. There are two things I believe you are mistaken on. I do not know anything about the spy, and I know even less about the ceremony. After a month of eating and sleeping here, I'm getting on a boat. And then for 2 months of sailing, I'll arrive at the new continent. Until then, I'll behave in front of Huigoro's face. But my interest lies in what comes after. They have been requesting these bothersome festivals of me. To the world, I'm still a legend that's going to guide the world that's going to guide away to the new world. I think when Kaken, who prizes honor, puts the pressure on, V5 and all you dogs will end up bringing me out to the festival anyways. And you'll probably all bow your heads down to me too. He's white. He's not lying. Beyond his telling the truth, there is no falsehoods in what he said. He doesn't know anything about Sayu, so therefore, Parison is the ringleader and Sayu is his conspirator, and they plan to rescue Beyond. Beyond was serious about everything he said, so I suppose it's okay if we leave him alone until we land on the island. You're optimistic, are you? Beyond may have no intentions of escaping, but we don't know if those two will try to break him out. I don't think so. We are contracted with Kaken to treat Beyond as an ordinary person until we arrive at the new continent. In order to make Huigoro's exploits more prominent, I'm sure there won't be any problems occurring during the voyage. Even if we erase those who broke their promise, in the worst possible situation, the V5 would be angered and decide to sever ties with Kaken, and then we'd end up in a situation where they'd be taking back the boat. So they're instructed, the V5 hired them to take Beyond with them. They want the trip to go smoothly. They don't want escalation. So Kurapika doesn't think that Kaken wants to escalate, because then it would just turn into a battle, I guess, and they don't want that. I see. So Beyond intentionally declared a truce in order to avoid problems and disorder, because they don't want to fight. They want to get to the continent. In other words, it wouldn't be a good idea for us to move against Sayu right now either. I feel the same. I just want to avoid us sitting here foolishly doing nothing while they prepare all their preparations for an escape. Do we have any countermeasures? I haven't done anything apart from looking at these tapes. Did Sayu reveal his own ability? Yeah. I used three monkeys. Mizaru, Kakazaru, Iwazaru. Even an idiot can figure most of the rest out. When their attack successfully hit their opponent, they have the ability to take their sight, hearing, and speech. It should most definitely work even on beyond. Though while we're unsure if we have an enemy in our midst or not, I really didn't want to say any of that. When a healthy ordinary person suddenly loses three of their senses, it becomes impossible for them to use or maintain their abilities. What's interesting is it seems like it would have the least effect on an enhancer type. But when the panic sets in, you can read all of their actions from their aura flow. After rendering that garbage useless, I used my priest staff to give them a full and thorough thrashing. That is my style. If this information ever leaks out anywhere, you'd all better really prepare yourselves. The equilibrium, when he was talking about his ability compared to directly after you asked him that question, were completely different. So he's lying. I get the feeling he was stating the truth. Contrary to how he feels, he's relieved that he's in a situation where he doesn't have to lie. Okay, that makes sense. Without a doubt, he's not lying regarding his ability. And he is the person on Beyond's side. I see. Even without listening to the rest of the group's voices, I can tell they're all tense. They want to trust those around them, but the risk of their own abilities being revealed to the conspirator has them doubting everyone. These complex emotions are having a strange influence over their entire body's movements. In other words, they're displaying the normal response of an innocent person. So perhaps Sayu is the conspirator, is the only conspirator. The enemy doesn't know that we have become aware of this. We need to make advantage of this. Without changing our current routine, we should check into Sayu's conversations and actions by recording his cell phone and monitoring surveillance camera footage while they're trying to uncover the enemy's plan, try and secure evidence. So in other words, we're going to leave them be. I guess it's a far safer choice than trying to force a tail on them at all times. And now that we know Sayu's power, we can drastically narrow down our predictions of what their escape plan may be. From this enemy standpoint, and considering the nature of his ability, choosing to escape after arriving at the destination would be the easier option. Knowing there is that incredibly high risk of their plan going off there, it's if we are going to stop them, we should restrain Sayu just before arriving to the new continent. If we restrain him too early, it will be easy for the enemy to change plans. There's also a high probability that they will carry out their escape plan immediately following the festive on the new continent. That's why we need to capture Sayu before arriving and without Beyond noticing. It would be best if we find some evidence before restraining him. We need to have some reason to give that will stand when the other members ask us why we are arresting Sayu. And if we have no evidence, I'm wondering that myself. Without evidence, we'll have to tell them that you used me. But then what will happen? It's going to cause a more than substantial dispute, Without doubt, I'll be denounced and criticized. Because you used a newcomer and acted independently. That too, but while I was going on about resolve and dedication behind their backs, I was secretly looking for the criminal. There's going to be a lot of them that won't be able to accept it. They, of course, desire results, but there are also those who value the way we get those results. There are those that value the means solely and could care less about the results. Things might turn so sour and complicated that we'd have to change our entire approach to our mission to the Dark Continent. To be honest, by revealing our powers to one another, it truly feels like our bonds have strengthened. Indeed, when they find out that the entire premise was all farce, I can't imagine how they'll react. Mizai, it's me. Did you see Kakin's government site? No. The Kakin's princes are recruiting bodyguards. Their job details include protecting the princes during the voyage and removing any dangerous threats, any dangerous elements that arise. This is going to be a problem. Hunter's application we'd finally managed to screen out might make their way onto the ship now as the prince's bodyguards. Do you know which princes made this request? Yeah, they're competing with what they're offering for compensation. Constantly updating the amount. In all, a total of 6 requests. It's a pretty good place to stop. A lot of things happened. Uh, they figure out the traitor is. Um, Kurapika is they're planning to stop Beyond from escaping to the Dark Continent. The Succession War arc officially starts. The Succession War arc starts now. The Succession War arc. This arc is pretty lit, Loki. Pretty lit. I remember when I first read it, it was kind of hard to remember, or it was hard to like remember everything. But since I'm going a little slower, I'm definitely gonna understand everything. Man, this is lit. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. Philosophy, ambition, shady tactics, insiders, emboldenment. There's a lot of things happen. A lot of themes correspond with this. Very good. Very good. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.